Viewers, US Vice President J.D. Vance has arrived in India on a 4-day visit along with his Indian origin wife Usha Vance and their 3 children. He is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi at evening today at Later's residence 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. J.D. Vance along with his wife Usha Vance and their 3 children were received by Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav at the Palam airport. The US Vice President also received a ceremonial guard of honor upon his arrival. Vice President of the United States, J.D. Vance, Second Lady Usha Vance, along with their children, have also visited Akshardham Temple. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance has left from the Central Cottage Industries Emporium in Jaipur, and Vance's visit comes amidst the U.S. President Donald Trump's aggressive tariff onslaught. Vance's visit also raises then the expectations of a progress in the trade talks between the two countries. Vance and his family are set to visit Jaipur and Agra during the visit, with the preparations made for the much anticipated visit. Arzu Seth, my colleague, is joining me live on the broadcast. Arzu, as the visit has commenced already, with the Vance family now completing their time of visiting the Akshardham temple, what remains to be the next agenda of the visit as the day progresses? All eyes are on the kind of itinerary that is being offered to the J.D. Vance, who is completing the crucial parts of the visit.
The Vice President J.D. Vance's visit to India has started today as he arrived at the Palam airport along with his family, and this is J.D. Vance's first official visit to India and is scheduled for 4 days from April 21 to 24, and this comes after his official visit to Italy. And also J.D. Vance landed in Delhi at around 9:30 a.m. and headed straight for the Akshardham temple along with his wife Usha Vance and 3 children, Ivan, Vivek and Maribel. Also we saw, these children were wearing traditional clothes, and he is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the evening, at his residence 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. Apart from Delhi, Vance will also visit Jaipur and Agra on Tuesday and Wednesday respectively before leaving on Thursday morning. J.D. Vance along with his wife Usha Vance and their children were received by Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav at the Palam airport, and the U.S. Vice President also received a ceremonial guard of honor upon his arrival. And also, according to the external ministry, their Prime Minister Narendra Modi and J.D. Vance will hold talks on a variety of topics, and this must be very significant as this is an official visit, and he will be meeting the Prime Minister and the United States of America, and he have a comprehensive strategic global partnership. So when you have that level of partnership with any country, obviously you will discuss all the relevant issues, and several holdings have been put up across the national capital to welcome Vance, and the university's traffic police have issued an advisory. We saw, how the security has been beefed up at the Akshardham temple, and also now as we move ahead in the, there will be also expected to, J.D. Vance and his family is expected to visit the Jaipur market, and also after that in the evening, Prime Minister will be hosting a dinner for the Vice President J.D. Vance.
Well, all right, Arzu, thank you very much for sharing more updates on this as the details are being tracked very closely. Now, Major General A.K. Siwach is joining me live on the broadcast. Sir, appreciate your presence on the broadcast. As this strategic and semi-formal visit of J.D. Vance, the Trump's deputy, is being concerned, well, the stakeholders are prepping up for making a formal announcement. What is the focus for the big takeaways from this crucial visit?
No, Simran, no doubt. This is a very important visit of a Vice President of US. See, as far as India and US are concerned, we are on the process of signing a bilateral trade agreement. You know that US has put a lot of tariff on all the countries, and they have also put 26% tariff on India. But it has been now given a pause for 3 months. But in the meanwhile, India is now basically trying to make a deal with the US, which will be basically beneficial to both the sides. And we are on the last days. Our finance minister will be shortly visiting US. So this will be a very important thing, trying to bring out certain experts from Indian side like agriculture, dairy products, where we have to guard them and shield them, because basically if we don't do it, then you will find the American goods, especially agriculture goods and the dairy products, will flood the Indian market. So this will be the issue which will be also conveyed to the Vice President while discussing. Then the very important thing is the trust. The trust is basically that in Biden government, we have gone in basically initiative on critical and emerging technology, with the new name is given now, transforming relationship utilizing a strategic technology. Now this is where we want to now liaison with the US and trying to get a technology which is critical and emerging technology from US, which earlier they never used to give it to any other country other than NATO. Now that's the very important thing, that's where we are discussing, and we are trying to bring out that latest technology should be given even in the as far as the weapons are concerned. Remember that last time when Donald Trump was Trump 1.0, we have signed three basic fundamental agreements. The four basic agreements which have been signed with US, that is basically GSO, MI, the General Security of Military Intelligence, then is COMCASA, Communication Compatibility and Security Arrangement, then LIMU, Logistic Exchange and Memorandum of Agreement, and BECA, Basic Exchange Cooperation. Now these were basically signed mainly on Trump 1.0. So the point is the strategic partnership which is there between India and US is going forward, and now the visit of Vice President to India at this critical moment will make a difference. Now remember that India is now trying to get the latest weapon system from US with the proviso of transferring of technology. Now, one in point is basically engine G404 and G414, which we need for our Tejas Mark 1 Alpha and Tejas Mark 2, which was slightly delayed. Now, possibly they are in the pipeline. The other thing which we are now looking for is that any future weapon which India will like to take it from US will be on a proviso of transferring of technology and jointly produced in India. I suppose that's a very important thing which is there. As far as the US is concerned, they are trying to pressurize India basically on two things. One is there is a trade deficit which is from US point of view about $40 billion, and they are trying to put pressure for us to make that gap by taking more oil and gas as well as the modern weapon, which will be discussed obviously in time to come. But certainly as far as J.D. Vance Vice President visit of US to India is going to be very, very important, and especially because his wife being from Indian origin, and also that the first visit outside US and Europe to India has a tremendous impact. Simran.
Well, Mr. Siwach, certainly, as now the speech by J.D. Vance on the policy on the India-US is expected to be made at the